Olá, bom dia. Good morning to you. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal live stream. We're a YouTube channel as well and a podcast trying to keep you up to date with what's going on in Portugal, primarily now in the English language for people who are here, expats, explorers. That's what the show is always about, helping people improve their lives and support people who are expats and explorers in Portugal. And I guess, yeah, of course, the situation has changed now. So we're doing our best to bring you information that may be useful and also to be a platform to share your, well, what's going on, update yourself if you can update others from your area and make requests for help and support or bring observations to the live stream in the morning. And just we're here as a bit of a focal point as well. Just a bit of a, I hope, a reassuring presence and a place where you can share messages should you wish to. And some people have stepped forward to join the team in that way. Owen might be joining us to report from the east of the country today. Thanks, Stephanie, as well, for offering to report from Tavira. The observation there was that it's probably best to wait till there is definitely something to say, and that applies to anybody who wants to jump on and just shout out from their part of the country what's going on and what's needed, and to stay in touch from there. So yes, hello to you, Stephanie, just talking about you. So yeah, good morning from Tavira. Do let me know if you want to join me, and if there's anything you specifically you want to talk about or anything you think I've missed. I think now what we're going to do is share the latest data really about the country. I was sharing from World Meter, which was the world view. It seems to me now that it's more appropriate to share the Portugal specific view. So that's what I'm going to do. And this is from the DGS, the actual health service website of Portugal, as you can see there, Direção Geral da Saúde. And it's pretty stark in every sense, the presentation here, but it's very informative and useful. It's showing the evolution of the spread of infection and cases here in Portugal. And you can see there are now 14 deaths in Portugal. We're heading towards 12,000 suspected cases. 5 people have recovered. I was hoping for more than that. That seems a bit slow, but let me not bring my emotional undertones to that quite yet. I mean, we can talk later on in the show, but my aim is to just bring you facts and figures, and we go more and more into sort of personal views and opinions later on in the show. But 1,600 confirmed cases in Portugal, and this is why I think it's useful to look at Portugal specific now, because you can see what's going on in the areas of Portugal. In the north, 825, central 180, Lisbon region 534. South of Lisbon, Alentejo towards the Algarve, 5 cases, and down in the Algarve in the south, 35. And you can see there as well, 7 cases in Madeira and 4 in the Azores there. Okay, so that's covid19.min-saud.pt. I will put a link to that in the Good Morning Portugal web page, all the W's, goodmorningportugal.com, and put useful links on the COVID-19 link on the website there. So that's the picture this morning, 22nd of March 2020, and another really excellent source of information. As I'm sure if you've tuned in before, you'll know that I'm really grateful to Safe Communities Portugal, who provide really good information. Let me just give you a very quick view of what their site looks like. They've shared the state of emergency information. So the information there this morning is very dense. I don't think there's any need for me to go into all of that and read through all of that quite now. You can do that for yourself, obviously. The headlines to me there, the things that are standing out, are what's going to go on with people who find themselves in motorhomes who have been basically evicted or asked to move on from campsites. And I know lots is going on to help people who are in that situation. Some really good stuff on the Pure Portugal community group on Facebook and others as well. A little bit of antagonism as well. I think, people understand that it's right to be at home now, but if you're on the road and in your camper van, you've got to find somewhere to do that. And I've seen some really lovely offers of help. And so maybe we can be wary of people in that situation and see what we can do to support them and guide them in the right direction so they can find a safe haven until this blows over, which is going to be a while, I think, and or until the situation changes and a better situation can be found for them. So there is that. There is where people are at, and Gareth, one of our correspondents, as it were, was saying that. that he's concerned about people on the road. And so let's be mindful of them and see what we can do to support them today. The other thing was in business, and if you've got a business here, the VAT, IVA tax, there has been an agreement to move that forward a quarter, I believe. That was the latest thing that I heard. Look, it's very dense, all the text that's available at the moment. So that goes into the depth of what's allowable in this state of emergency. And then there was an announcement before that about the taxation situation and the rolling it back, I suppose, or putting it forward into time to give businesses a chance to really cope at the moment. And yeah, look at all that information there. That it's a bit like reading the terms and conditions when you sign up for a website, isn't it? There's not going to be many people who are going to go through all of that. But so that's what I'm trying to do, is give you the headlines. And what I'm going to do is go to the Portugal news, go to the newspapers in Portugal, to give you a bit more of an overview rather than try and dig into all this information here all in one go, which I think is very overwhelming. But back on the 20th of March, 2200 hours, Prime Minister announced today that the payment of VAT and IRC was postponed to the second semester of the year, which would have to be paid in the coming months to guarantee the activity of companies and jobs. So that's a little bit of good news if you're running a business here in Portugal and you make those EVA payments, as I do, and there's a little bit of relief and respite there. I see a few people are tuning into the live stream this morning. Please do say where you are and how you're doing. It'd be really good to hear from you, and let us know what's happening in your part of the country. So let's just dive a little deeper into more subjective territory, interpretation of the information and the news. Dawn. Hello, Dawn. We're on the Air de Lagos up until recently house hunting. We have nowhere to go if we have to leave. We don't have a house in the UK anymore. It looks like the UK is in complete chaos with no clear message from our Prime Minister about social separation. We have been self-isolating here since the start of the emergency and have no wish to put ourselves at risk, as my husband is asthmatic. Stay in touch, Dawn. There is the group on Facebook, which is Stay Positive Portugal. Some good folks in there, some good eggs, and also Pure Portugal, as I mentioned. I think I've seen you on there, haven't I, Dawn, as well. Let us know how that goes, and keep appealing for the help you need. And I'm sure the community will reach back out to you, and we'll figure something out. We need to look after each other at the moment, and let's see what we can do there. And yeah, good morning from Tavira, from Stephanie Bennett there. Stephanie, when there's something to say from Tavira, please, do shout out. Come on, it's very easy. All I need to do is it's as simple as this. I will post a link onto the screen there, or send it to you via private message, and then you can just click it and come onto the show like that, as though you were on Zoom or Facebook Messenger or FaceTime, WhatsApp, whatever. It's as easy as that to just come on and join me on this screen. Okay, so that's what it looks like if you want to come on and join. But good luck, Dawn. I think, stay put. Obviously, you know what you're doing. It's just, I guess, you're concerned about what the government will be asking you to do, and I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to advocate and lobby for you. So stay in touch with the rest of the herd, as it were, who are facing this together, and we'll see what we can do to all support each other. Let's take a deeper look into how the Portugal news is seeing the situation at the moment, and obviously their coverage has gone right up. They're all very busy at the Portugal news at the moment, making sense of what's going on at the moment. One thing I did notice, there's a reassuring piece here that government guarantees essential services such as water, electricity, gas and rubbish collection, as you see there, at a time when the country is in a state of emergency due to the Covid-19 pandemic. The executive wanted to ensure that despite the exceptional situation in the country and proliferation of registered cases of contagion, there is a guarantee of essential services to the country, informs the Ministry of Environment and Climate Action in a statement. For this reason, the minister, tutored by João Pedro Matos Fernandes, signed today 3 orders that came into force. They're covering those essential areas that we mentioned there. And their objective is to ensure the continuity and no interruption in the provision of public services for water supply for human consumption, sanitation of urban wastewater, urban waste management, energy supply, availability of liquid fuels and LPG, and the operation of public passenger transport, according to one of the orders. So that's very reassuring to me anyway, to know that that's what's going on behind the scenes there. Minister says there, I ask you to be very careful to comply with the rules of hygiene and protection that are public, but to continue, because more than ever, the country and the Portuguese depend on your work, he said to those who are involved in those emergency services. But it just seems more and more, doesn't it, that the onus is on us all to really play our part in this, and staying at home, self-isolating, physically distancing, socially distancing is obviously the thing to do. And I see, people are getting mad with people who aren't doing that, and I can understand that. But I think we're gonna stay sort of kind, compassionate, and appeal to reason, I think. And more and more people are getting the message, and I see it just turns a bit ugly when you start shaming people and calling them out. I understand the urge to do that, but I think for as long as we possibly can, we need to stick to kindness and reason to influence people to stay at home and not put others' lives at risk. From Neil Perkins, good morning from Alvito Evra in the Alentejo. Good morning to you, Neil. Thank you very much. The invitation is there to you as well, to come on as and when you wish, because we're going to be here every morning from 9 o'clock, certainly on the weekdays, and we often do a show. It's not really a show, a live stream at the weekend as well, and the podcast continues for those who can't join us. We have Michael as well, Michael Byrne in Lagos Air. Lagos, people call that, don't they? I would love to know the correct pronunciation. But anyway, you get the message. Lagos Air, down there in the Algarve. Thank you, Michael, for getting in touch as well. So let's go look again at the papers, and just want to give you a sense of the coverage from the Portugal news. When I've finished with this, do feel free to just keep chatting in the comments, and I'll keep it open as long as people want to do that. You can see here the homepage, portugalnews.com, some really good ways of staying in touch with what's going on. And look, a new drive-through centre opening in the Algarve to screen for new coronavirus. You don't need me to read the newspapers for you. That said, it did occur to me that anyone who does struggle to read the paper, whatever accessibility means or whatever, very happy. The podcast, it covers some of this stuff, but if people need to the people who are visually impaired or whatever, who need an audio service, let me know. I'm happy to do that. The pretty shocking news that and depends which paper you look at. I heard it was 2,500 people, and here in the Portugal news, you can see there 1,300 cruise passengers arrived in Lisbon, only to be repatriated. That's a rude awakening for anyone who arrived on that cruise ship into Lisbon. Cascais Chamber supports the elderly and creates centres for homeless people. That's excellent news. And food emergency network created for those most in need. So you get a sense, which is wonderful, that the country and the people are really rising to this occasion and doing something to meet the need, as we're trying to do our little bit with that as well here on the Good Morning Portugal live stream. One more news source to share with you if you're not already familiar with it, and that would be the Portugal resident. So people in the Algarve know this is the Algarve resident, I think, as well. It is an older story from our friend we've made now at the Portugal resident. Interesting observation here, and it's sobering, but worth realizing, I think, that we need to take in the scale of this and the time scale of this. Hello. Thank you very much. One of the perils from working from home. My daughter Minnie is here. Can I just do this live stream, darling? I'll come down in a minute. No. Let someone join this car. Oh, okay. I'll come down and do that with you in a little while. Because I'm talking to a few people on the live. Do you want to come and say hello? Here, you take that one. And you take that one. And I think Mummy's shouting for you now, like that lady in that BBC video when the man was on the telly talking to the news guy. That was Minnie, everybody. So Covid-19, it will take till June before we can relaunch economy, says PM, outlining new measures being brought in to help families and the nation's businesses. Sorry to laugh, my wife has just come in looking for the kids. Back to Covid-19, it will take till June before we can relaunch economy, says PM on the 20th of March. Thank you very much. See you later on. Outlining new measures being brought in to help families and the nation's businesses as everyday activity has been brought to a halt. Prime Minister Antonio Costa was frighteningly clear on the challenges of the Covid-19 and what has been brought with it. The virus isn't going to disappear in 14 days' time, he told the press conference that had been waiting hours for his announcement. This is going to be a long battle. According to health authority forecast, we will live till the end of May with many limitations. I thought that was a full stop. We will live to the end of May. We will live to the end of May with many limitations which will affect the economy. In this scenario, we have to leave these 3 months in the best way possible. This means businesses have to remain open, even if deeply affected, and jobs have to be secure so that families can continue with their lives. So things have changed there, obviously, and essential businesses will be staying open, obviously. The rest stay at home, social isolation, and measures sketched out this evening are simply the first of a line that will come into force to safeguard jobs, businesses, and families' lives. Pledges involve lines of credit for companies and delays in payment of social security contributions, IVA, IRS, and IRC, suspensions of any conclusions of rental contracts, i.e. no one will be forced out of their homes, a 3-month extension to unemployment pay, solidarity compliments for the elderly, and RSI benefits. Again, I won't read the whole thing to you, but you get the gist there that the Portuguese government appears to be all over this in a good way. We have to work with realism in the face of what the health authorities are telling us. Up to the end of May, we may face many limitations to our collective lives. Schools are closed until April 9th. But if we have to prolong this, it will have an impact on the lives of families. Everything is under constant evaluation. This is a long-term battle, Mr. Acosta reiterated. No one can delude themselves. People know this. At the end of 3 months, we will evaluate the damage and think of relaunching the economy. So we know what's being said there, don't we? This is changing us beyond all recognition. No one really saw this coming, did they? And now we're seeing it coming. It's kind of unfolding before our eyes. And as I said before, and as everyone keeps saying, we've got to work together on this. Good morning, Tracy Chandler. Good morning from Santa Catarina. Good morning to you, Tracy. Thanks for saying hi. And we also have Ingrid Meira. And Paul Barnett together possibly there, or Ingrid wanting to bring Paul's attention to the situation here. So shout out to Paul as well. And thank you to my daughter Minnie for her added entertainment on the show this morning. Just reminding us, isn't that a sort of nice thing that, life goes on, doesn't it? As well, the sun is shining, the birds are singing this morning. I don't want to make light of this situation, but you have to have those moments, don't you, when you think, wow, life does go on. In some ways life is good apart from this terrible situation we find ourselves in, and it's about finding that balance, isn't it? Doing the practical things we can, like supporting each other, like looking after each other, even if isn't this a wonderful thing that we are staying at home really for people we don't even know? And I find that really moving, that the people are getting the message that the best thing to do is to stay at home, to stay out of the way, to avoid the contamination, contagion, and do their bit for all the others out there who have to go about their business, who be in the hospitals, and we don't even know them. And I find that very moving, and I find that a good thing in this bad situation. And of course, with kids like Minnie who just came in there, we have to kind of operate and give them a sense of, we can't call it normal anymore, can we? We just have to sort of be natural and available to our kids and to each other in the best way that we know how. So thank you everybody who's been in touch this morning. I don't like to stay on too long because I want this to sort of be informative, brief and useful. Thanks Stephanie, thanks Dawn. Good luck with your situation, Dawn. If I just leave that on the screen, that's a situation Dawn might be reaching out, as it were. I know that's an overused, there's a lot of this. We could have COVID bingo at the moment, couldn't we, with the words like unprecedented and reaching out and social isolation and the rest of it. All these new things in our vocabulary, flattening the curve. Good morning to you as well, Neil. Thanks for saying hi this morning. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Ingrid, for being in touch. So yes, do join this team. Merry band in difficult circumstances. Use this as a platform to say what you need to say from your part of Portugal. And I wish you a good and pleasant day, and to take care, and boa sorte and saúde, good health and good luck to you. Have a good day. Bye for now.